Hello, I'd like to introduce you to English Literature GCSE at Belmont. So, the first question is, what is English Literature GCSE? In this area of study, we look at a number of different texts from across a wide range of time in English literature. So, we have a look at novels. At the moment, we commonly read A Christmas Carol by Dickens. We also look at a wide range of poetry, from pre-19th century poetry like The Charge of the Light Brigade to more modern poetry by John Aggard or Simon Armitage. And we also have a look at two plays. So we look at modern drama, commonly in Inspector Calls or Blood Brothers, and we also look at some Shakespearean work, usually either Romeo and Juliet or Macbeth. So we have a wide view of how writers write and how they create meaning within their texts. So this gives us a summary of this idea that description begins in the writer's imagination but should finish in the reader's. And that's all that English literature is about, really, that communication between the writer and how the written word brings our imagination alive and creates worlds for us. The skills that we need and develop in literature are a mirror to those that we use in English language. So we will continue to develop the fluency of our speaking and our writing and develop the perception of our listening and reading skills across the course of our Key Stage 4. We also know that our thinking skills are the bedrock of our subject. So our inquiry, our ability to ask relevant questions, our ability to predict events within texts and anticipate how a writer is going to move us through a text are absolutely crucial, as is our ability to process that information. We look at comparison when we compare poems, for example. We use our inference and deduction widely throughout English literature as we explore the texts that we read. We evaluate, we consider how writers write and what makes a good piece of writing, what impacts on us and our understanding particularly, and we use our creative skills as well to understand how writers write and to echo some of that work within our own writing too. English GCSE exams have two papers. We have paper 1, which is the Shakespeare and the novel text. They require 2 extended essay responses, which we prepare students for across the whole of the 3 years. Paper 2 looks at the modern drama, the anthology poetry, and some unseen poetry. So it's also testing independent reading and analysis skills. These exams are sat at the end of year 11 and tend to be sat after the English language exams in the summer. Students will have questions about how English literature links to what they've done in year 7 and year 8. And there are similarities. So students will recognise that they have the same staff, it's the same English department. We are developing the same skills of reading, writing, speaking and listening, and those essential thinking skills that we've been looking at. It's the same style of learning in a year 9, 10 and 11 literature class as it was in a year 7 or 8 lesson. And we're developing that idea of their knowledge, understanding and enjoyment of texts, just as we did in year 7 and year 8. However, there are differences that they will recognise. So students will see, just like in language, we've got a split between literature and language classes, that they're clearly identified on timetables as being separate subjects, and they may often find that they have separate teachers for literature and language. We do try and keep teachers the same from year 9 to year 11 to build really positive working relationships between students and their teacher and a really clear understanding of a child's potential and what their next steps are for learning. And they will recognise that the texts are becoming more sophisticated as we move across the key stage as well. English literature has really good links with a number of different career paths, and English literature can be used as a substitute for English language grades for some courses at A level and degree level. Employers will generally ask for a specific English grade and may not specify whether it needs to be language or literature. In terms of specific career paths, we can see a really fine balance between the creative arts, things like art and design or working in publishing and media, and very analytical areas in terms of careers such as law. because literature is a really fine balance between that creativity and that enjoyment of art and culture, but also a very clear-minded analysis of texts and the ability to express your understanding very eloquently and clearly. Literature is seen as a high-status GCSE, which is valued by many employers and by very many universities and further education courses. So we hope that you are looking forward to exploring these texts with us in English literature at Belmont.